beneath the waters. The flood was not without resistance. From the depths rose the last war clans of the Gibberim. The rapame of the deep, giants adapted to pressure and darkness. They assaulted the sky god's orbital remnants, hurling fragments of moonstone into the heavens. In response, the Shemor deployed the tridents of Tiamat, energy lances that boiled entire regions of ocean. Steam plumes darkened the sky, tsunamis circled the globe. This was the war's final echo. When the waters finally stilled, the giants were gone. No Bere, the covenant of silence. When the land emerged again, Nauruel was summoned. The sky gods appeared not as conquerors, but as mourners. They gave him a covenant not of obedience, but of forgetting. If humanity remembers us too clearly, Urithoth said, they will seek to become us before they are ready. Nauruel was renamed Noan, he who walks without seeing the sky. The Vesile was dismantled, its technology buried beneath layers of stone and story. The truth was encoded as myth, rain, animals, a boat, a rainbow. The sky gods departed Earth forever, or so they wished humanity to believe. The aftermath. The flood erased the last visible evidence of the Great War. But not all of it. Mountain ranges still rise where the earth was torn. Deserts still remember fire beneath their sands, and the oceans hide scars that no natural process explains. And somewhere, deep beneath the seas and stones, ancient vaults still hum, waiting. Because now Ruel preserved more than life. He preserved potential. And when humanity once again reaches for the sky, the Watchers will return, not as gods, but as judges.
By the time the waters surrendered the land, the world had forgotten its shape. For 40 days the seas had clawed at the sky, and for 40 nights the sky had wept into the sea, until the very horizon dissolved. Mountains were eaten down to their bones, forests drowned in silence, cities. The living veins of the first world vanished beneath a shifting, restless mirror. And then, as if the earth itself exhaled, the waters began to fall. They did not withdraw gently. They tore themselves away like a great wound reluctantly closing. Torrents raged back toward oceans reborn, carving new rivers from mountains that had once embraced starlight valleys that had known laughter became scars. Shorelines uncurled like forgotten scrolls. High upon a jagged peak, a mountain began to glow, not with fire, but with memory. The Ark Sanctum, the last cradle of the first world, slept within the mountain's ribs, hidden beneath layers of basalt and veined crystal. During the deluge it had sealed itself like a stone eyelid, closing against the fury of the world within its walls. A living lattice of stone, metal, and humming crystal, life endured in a soft, resonant darkness. Now as the waters receded, the sanctum slowly unsealed. Light rippled faintly along the cliff face, following hairline seams that were not there a heartbeat before. A low harmonic tremor passed through the rock, like a sigh escaping the lungs of the mountain itself. The resonance softened, dimmed, then faded. A door appeared where there had never been a door. And from that living threshold, Ziusudra stepped out onto the newborn earth. Barefoot, silent, carrying the weight of a world that no longer existed. Behind him the others followed, family, blood of his blood, weary and hollow-eyed. They did not descend from a wooden hull, they emerged from a sanctum grown out of stone, from a covenant hidden in the bones of the world. When the last survivor had stepped out into the cold, clean air, the doorway shimmered and vanished. The mountain became only a mountain again. To later generations, it would seem as though they had simply walked out of the rock. And perhaps in a way they had. The air outside was quieter than death. There were no birds yet to sing, no insects to whisper. Only the retreating roar of distant waters like a god muttering in its sleep. Zeusidra's hair, once black as fresh ink, had grown pale during the silence of the storm. It lay like silver thread down his shoulders, braided with ash and salt. A robe of rough cloth clung to him, soaked to the hem. His feet sank into the mud, and he felt the earth tremble like a sleeping animal beneath his skin. He did not kneel. He did not cry out in thanks. He simply stood there, breathing a world that no longer knew his name. But in his mind, the old world still burned. A world of towering spires that glowed like captured constellations, bridges that leapt across oceans, libraries whose walls hummed softly, alive with thought gardens that reached toward the sky, tended by beings whose veins carried both starlight and sorrow. He saw the sky born radiant and terrible in their beauty. The architects of the sanctum, the keepers of the great covenant. He heard again their layered harmonic voices, not sound but meaning, weaving through the arc of the heavens.
The forest that touched the sky. Long before the flood, before the war scorched continents and split mountains from the skin of the earth, the world was not shaped like the one we know. It was vertical. The emerald tablets call that age the era of the pillars, when the planet's gravity was gentler and its atmosphere denser, rich with oxygen and charged particles. In that world rose the world trees, known to the sky gods as the Auralith groves. These were not trees as we remember them. They were living megastructures miles tall, their trunks wider than cities, their crowns piercing the cloud layers, their roots braided through bedrock, stabilizing tectonic plates, regulating moisture, and anchoring Earth's magnetic homage. Entire ecosystems existed within them. And humanity, true humanity, was born there. The people of the canopy. Before the sky gods arrived, before the genetic arrogance of the Nephilim forged, there existed an earlier hominid lineage called the Anakin. Those who walked the branches. They were smaller, lighter, and adapted for height rather than ground. Their homes were carved into living bark. Their villages hung like constellations of light within the leaves. They rarely touched the surface world, for below the canopy prowled nightmares. The ground belonged to monsters. Scaled titans crawled through fern jungles. Reptilians the size of mountains, winged beasts darkened the sky. Their shadow-swallowing forests, the oceans were alive with impossible forms. Spiral leviathans, translucent hunters, creatures that sang in frequencies that shattered bone. The Anakin survived by ascending, not conquering. They lived in symbiosis with the world trees, feeding them, pruning them, singing to them in resonance tones that shape growth. These beings were not engineered. They were seeded. The first arrivals. The tablets speak cautiously of them, as if even the sky gods feared the name. Before the Shemar, before the Watchers, before the Giants, there came another species. They are called the Eldru, the first navigators. The Eldru were not conquerors, they were gardeners of worlds, ancient beyond reckoning. They did not build cities, they shaped biospheres. Arriving when Earth was young and wild, they altered the genome of native primates, not to dominate, but to observe themselves through evolution. Humanity was their mirror. When the Eldru departed, they left behind only two legacies: the Anakin in the trees, and the world trees themselves, planetary stabilizers fertilizers disguised as forest. When the sky gods arrived much later, they mistook Earth as unclaimed. It was not. Why the trees had to fall. During the Great War, the Gibborim learned a terrible truth. The world trees could withstand water. As the sky gods prepared the flood, the giants retreated upward, climbing the colossal trunks, intending to ride out the rising seas above the clouds. Some had already fortified entire crown cities within the upper branches. If the trees remained, the flood would fail. The Council of Enoch made its most painful decision. The Auralith groves had to be destroyed. Would it? The sky gods did not burn the trees. They cut them. Using phase-edge beams, weapons tuned to molecular resonance, the Shemor sliced through trunks older than continents. Each fall triggered seismic collapses. Entire canopies crashed into the oceans, displacing waters that became the first great tsunamis. The giants screamed as their sanctuaries fell from the sky. Many were crushed, others were dragged into the depths as the sea surged over them. The Anakin, humanity's first ancestors, were saved only because Na-Uriel had been warned. He led the surviving canopy clans down hidden root spirals into the Vesselae's protection. When the last world tree fell, Earth lost its vertical world. The ground became humanity's prison and its destiny. Fossils and lies. What remains of that age is misnamed. We call them petrified forests, coal seams, fossil fuel. But these are not forests. They are the crushed bodies of the world trees, compressed by flood waters in time. Their absence altered gravity feedback, thickened tectonic instability, and allowed predators to dominate the surface until climate collapse erased them. The reptiles fell, the winged beasts vanished, the oceans grew quieter. Humanity survived, smaller, forgetful, grounded. The echo in the story. This is why the flood had to come. This is why the giants could not escape. This is why humanity forgot its home among the branches. And this is why myths speak of trees that reached heaven, serpents and dragons of old, the world destroyed by water. Because once, long before kings and calendars, humanity did not look up at the sky in fear. They lived there. And somewhere buried beneath stone and silence, the roots of the lost world trees still hum, waiting for the day humanity remembers how to climb again.